Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the liquid forms of medication and how we measure that and how we do dosage calculations. Alright, so we're going to start off with some terms. The first term is ml, which means liquid. So anytime we use ml, if you've been looking at your assignments, you've already seen this and started questioning me on it. When you see ml, it means that we're dealing with a liquid medication. And just to give you an idea of how much volume this is, 5 mLs equals 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon, like you use in your house. Okay, that's a teaspoon. 15 mLs equals 1 tablespoon. Tablespoon, the big spoon. There's 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon, by the way. I can help you with cooking, but it also, again, can help you with some of the calculations. I know that's been on a national exam test before. How many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? So the answer is 3. There's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. The next one is 30 mLs, which equals 1 ounce. Okay, so to give you an idea, 5 mLs is a teaspoon, 30 mLs is 1 ounce. Think of ounces, you think of your water bottles or soda bottles, whatever you have. This one happens to be like 16 ounces, okay? All right, so from here, I did take a picture of this, I'll post it. We're gonna start going into the calculations for the liquid medications. I want you to notice one thing, okay? I have the same formula up here, but today I made the unit very bold because that's going to change today. And that's why I told you don't ever skip that step, even if it's a 1 when we're doing the pill form of dosage calculations. It might seem silly, but you never want to forget this step because today it's changing. We're going to go back to the same assignment that we were on yesterday. And we're going to start with number 2. Desired dose. 150 milligrams. Remember, that's the dose that the doctor ordered. And the dose that we have on hand is 200 milligrams / 5 mLs. What that means is there's 200 milligrams of this medication per 5 mLs, or in every 5 mLs. Remember, we just said 5 mLs is 1 teaspoon. So if we were going to take 1 teaspoon of this medication, it would have 200 milligrams in it, okay? We set up our formula the exact same way. Please do this every time. Just set it up and work it out. Desired dose, 150. Dose on hand, 200 milligrams per 5 ml. Okay, so that's how we set up the formula now. Okay, just checking my video to make sure it's picking up the colors okay. So we're going to do the math the same way. Take your calculator, put your top number in first. Turn it on first. Put your top number in first, 150. Divide that by the 200. That gives you 0.75, okay? 0.75. 0.75. Multiply that by 5 to get your answer of what you give. So 0.75 times 5 equals 3.75. 3.75 mLs is the answer. So it's less than a teaspoon. How would you measure that though? That's what we use syringes for. So that's why you need to go to the alliedhealthtools.com and you need to watch the video on how to read dosage, the increments on the syringes. I happen to have a syringe here. It's not a real syringe for medical. It's actually a food injector, and I found it in my drawer. But it's kind of neat because it actually has all those numbers that I just talked about right on it, okay? So that's the 5 ml mark. That's the 15 ml mark. And that's the 30 ml mark all the way down at the bottom. Okay? So we would use a syringe, a smaller one, that would be able to give us the exact line that we would need for 3.75 ml. Okay? Which is why you need to get very comfortable with reading syringes. Syringes come in all different sizes and all different lines with all different numbers and increments on them. Okay, that's, like I said, that's a food injector, so that is not the typical size needle and syringe that we would use in an office, but it's the same concept, okay? One more thing I want to point out is ml. When we see it on the assignments, it's always written as ml. But on some of your syringes, you might see the increments marked as cc instead of ml. Okay, again, I'm going to show you this one again because here it says 30 ml. I hope you can see that, 30 ml, right? But on a lot of syringes, it says cc instead of ml. They're the exact same thing. There's no difference between them. Okay, so if you happen to see something written as a cc, don't worry about it. Cc and ml are interchangeable. They mean the same thing when it comes to our dosage calculations and measurements, okay? So don't let that fool you. All right. Let's do another one. All right, so the next one on your assignment is number 3 for liquid measurements. Desired dose, 300 milligrams. That's the dose the doctor ordered. Dose on hand, 150 milligrams per 2 ml. So let's set it up. The dose we need, 300 milligrams. The dose we have, 150 milligrams per 2 ml. Okay? Take your calculator. Same thing. Top number goes in first. 300 divided by 150 equals 2. If you need the calculator to do this, that's fine. If not, do it in your head. 2 times 2 is 4. So the answer, what are we going to give the patient? We're going to give the patient 4 ml. Okay? This over here is where those milligrams go, the mg, because this is what the doctor ordered and this is what we know we have on hand in the bottle. This will never say mg. This will only say ml, cc, tablet, capsule, okay, things like that, like we talked about yesterday. This is, again, how the medication comes, in a tablet, a caplet, a liquid, okay? Over here is where we deal with those milligrams, mgs. And there's more than just milligrams. There's mcgs, micrograms, there's drams, there's grains. There's a lot of different terms that we're going to also go over that have to deal with these numbers over here. But whenever you work with your answer over here, your tag should never, ever be milligrams, micrograms, anything like that. MCGs, MGs, nothing like that. ML, CC, tablet, caplet, okay? I'm stressing that because a lot of people make that mistake. And what you're doing when you make that mistake is you're actually changing what you're giving the patient. And that's a problem. You can hurt somebody that way. You're either not going to give them enough medication, which can hurt them, or you're going to give them too much, which can hurt them, okay? So the doctor's telling us how many milligrams to give the patient. We need to figure out how much volume of liquid or how many pills to give them to get that dose, right? All right, so let's do the other one here together. Okay, so we're going to go down to number 5. Okay, number 5 says desired dose 75 milligrams and dose on hand 50 milligrams per 2 ml. Dose we need 75. Dose we have 50. 50 milligrams per 2 ml. Do the math. 75 divided by 50 equals 1.5. Do the math. 1.5 times 2. Okay, again, if you need to do that in the calculator, that's fine. The answer is 3 ml. So we would give the patient 3 mLs of this medication. Okay? And I can actually show you 3 ml on this syringe. Okay? This syringe has a line for every whole number. Okay? That's how this syringe is read. There's a line for every whole number. That's why number 5 is on the 5th line. I'm trying to get this into view for you. Number 5 is on the 5th line. So when you need to measure a medication, you need to take the top of the plunger, the top if your syringe is upright like this, the top of your plunger here, and you need to line it up with that 5 exactly. Okay. It's kind of hard for me to do that on the camera screen, so I'm going to do it off screen and show it to you. Okay. So I have lined up the top of my plunger exactly with the top line, top of my plunger with the line for the number 5, okay? So I would have been sucking in medication into the syringe exactly up to that line, okay? And that's how I know I would be giving my patient enough medication if it was for 5 mLs. This answer we got now is for 3 ml, right? So for 3 ml, I just have to go up 2 lines. So even though there's not a 3 on here, I know that these lines are worth 1 whole number each. And I know that because I know how to read calibration on syringes, which is why you need to watch that video. Okay, so I'm going to put it up to the 3 now. So now I have my plunger lined up with a 3 ml line. And that's exactly how much medication I would have to have in this syringe to give the patient 3 mLs of medication. Okay? One more thing I want you to notice. I want you to notice that I made my points very defined. I don't want you to miss them. Just like I wouldn't want an MA to miss the point while they were figuring out dosage calculations, right? Because if you didn't really see the dot, like we just kind of like maybe, kind of made a dot there, you might mistake that for 15, right? Same thing when it's a half, what we were talking about yesterday, like a half a pill. You can get the 0.5 numbers here too. And that's why it's 0.5. You never just do 0.5. For that same reason. What happens if you don't put a 0 and you kind of make a dot, but you don't make it really stand out? And you're talking about a pen dot. You're not talking about a big marker dot. You're talking about a pen, an ink pen dot. If you don't really see that, somebody would think that that is 5, not 0.5, right? So again, this is where you could overdose somebody or underdose somebody. Either way can hurt them, okay? So that pretty much concludes the dosage calculations for liquids today. The only thing that changed, the unit, okay? That is going to change. Now, one more, if you see, let's say it's, let me use another word that you guys are familiar with, right? Advil. And it says 200 milligrams / ml. But there's no number here, like you guys just saw on your worksheet, 2 ml or 5 ml, there's no number there. If there's no number there, but it does say /ml, then the answer is on the result, it's 1 ml. It'll always be per ml. And if that's the case, then your unit would be 1, because it's saying for every 1 ml, so that's why it's your unit here. They just don't put the 1 in front of it if it's only a 1. I don't know why. I can't tell you why they do or don't, but that's how it would look. Otherwise, it would have 2 ml or 5 ml or whatever it is. So I hope that makes it easier for you to now continue working on that dosage calculation worksheet. The rest of them are word problems, and they are asking for a lot more information. You don't have to go that far yet. Okay, that's going to be the next video where we talk about, you know, the multiple doses a day and over a time frame. That is the next step, so you don't have to do that yet. However, you could start with the how many tabs per dose, how much per dose, how many caps per dose, because that's only 1 dose. And that's exactly what we did today, and it's exactly what we did in the video yesterday. Same thing on the back, how many mLs per dose, how many tabs each dose, how many tabs each dose, how many tabs initially. Well, you might want to wait on that one, but the other ones you can definitely do, okay? Just that first part of each problem. There's also another assignment, I think it's 3B, and on 3B, it has also 3 different things it wants you to do, per dose, per day, and per duration. You can start on them right now as per dose, so that when I start doing it, going over those, you can see if you've done them right. And if you have, then again, that's where we'll be taking the next step to go on to multiple doses. Okay? So hope this helps, guys. I'll see you on the next one.